Hello everyone, this is Katish here. In this video, I'm going to go through the AQA GCSE Physics Paper 1 higher tier. Now this paper is 1 hour 45 minutes long and I'm going to make these videos each question at a time. So let's have a look at question number 1. Question number 1 is on the topic of electricity and mainly focusing on static electricity. Question 1 shows Figure 1 shows a student walking on a carpet. The student becomes negatively charged because of the friction between his socks and the carpet. Explain why the friction causes the student to become charged. Now, they're given you part of the answer because of friction. Now, because of friction, electrons or charged particles, mainly the electrons here, are actually being transferred from the socks to the carpet or to the carpet to the socks. Now, they are saying, explain why the friction causes student to become negative, to be charged. They're not saying whether it's positive. The student becomes negatively charged. Okay, so electrons from the carpet are moving onto the students, hence the student is negatively charged. So you would say there is transfer of electrons from the carpet to the student. That carries you 2 marks. To mention that there's a transfer of electrons is the 1 mark, and to say it's from the carpet to the student is the 2nd mark. Now, if you mention positive charge moving, then you're going to lose both the marks. So it's only the movement of electrons or the negative charges. Question 1.2, the student's head is represented by the sphere in figure 2. The student is negatively charged. The arrow shows part of the electric field around the student's head. Draw 3 more arrows on figure 2 to complete the electric field pattern. Now, you can see there's one arrow which is pointing towards the negative charge. Remember, for an electric field similar to gravitational fields, it has a direction, so it's from positive towards the negative. That's why the arrow is pointing towards the negative charge. So they're asking you to draw 3 more arrows, which should be equally spaced. So you would draw 4 lines equal in length and equally spaced, and they should all be pointing inwards or towards the negative charge like this. That should give you 1 mark. 1.3, the negatively charged student touches a metal tap and receives an electric shock. Explain why. Now, there's an electric shock because the student being negatively charged, when they touch the metal tap, which is a conductor, the electrons from the student will move through the metal tap, thus earthing the student, which results in the electric shock. So here's the answer. There is a potential difference between the student and the tap, which causes electrons or charges to transfer from the student to the tap, which earths the charge, resulting in an electric shock. Question 1.4. Some carpets have thin copper wires running through them. The student is less likely to receive an electric shock after walking on this type of carpet. Suggest why. Now, if there is thin copper wires on the carpet, then that becomes a conductor. So it will stop the student from building up a charge, because as soon as electrons are actually removed from the carpet, it will simply get transferred back, because the carpet is partly a conductor. So here's the answer. The copper wire in the carpet has a low resistance as it's a conductor. This lowers or causes no buildup of charge on the student. The 2nd mark is to say, so there is a smaller or no potential difference between the student and the carpet and written tab here, and between the student and the carpet. That brings us to the end of question number 1. I will see you in question number 2.